and we are good. Great. I hope Sipke will come and show us a nice demo like last week. Which you missed, Nick.
I did.
You did. And it's not on YouTube, so you don't know what he showed. It was awesome.
What was it?
You don't know. I was there.
Workflows.
It's related to workflows, but not.
Forms.
Yeah, forms. It's beautiful.
Okay.
It's the best forms ever. The simplest forms ever and the best ever. So status, demos. Do I have a demo? I did things. We'll see if I have demos. Topics. Does anyone have demos? Oh, we could demo what. So Antoine, do you want to show what you did? I haven't seen yet. Is it demo worth? And we also have Jasmin. We did things. We'll see.
About password or about dead time?
Dead time. I don't know what you did. I didn't look at the PR. We just talked.
So you want to see a demo of the time field?
Yeah, if you can.
Yes.
Just to see the progress. And Jasmin cultural setup, because you can. You want, Jasmin? Can you?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, good. Quick demos, but nice ones, and we can talk about it. At least we won't have a demo from Chris, but we can talk about what he did, and he's not here. It will be merged very soon now. So updates. Oh, we did some merges in 1.10x. Lots of PRs on Orchard 1. So fetch all. So fixing PR compilation error. Compilation error. Oh, there was a PR and the fix for the PR. Okay. Query database schema instead of an AML configurator to get 10 tables list. The idea being that with that you can delete all the tables for specific modules. Oh, sorry, for a tenant. So when you delete a tenant, it will also delete the tables. And what it's doing now, it's asking for all the tables from database for each differently for each database provider, and then it will filter the tenant from the prefix and delete all the tables when you delete a tenant. Concurrency fixes, so lots of fix, not that complex ones. There is a new iLog provider to lock things around, but yeah, mostly using the no-lock statement on select, specific select for specific modules like autoroute, tags, and there might be one or two others that will be added later. But that's great. So now you can create content items concurrently, and that fixes everything. So lots of work from Matteo and Jasmin. This one, fix list HTML with new permission. So there was a bug with the create content permission and the list that would not show the button when it should. And this one, fix exclusive branch activity, an issue with a workflow activity, the exclusive branch that he fixed yesterday. Okay, we don't know which one, but now it's doing a to list. Yeah, and that seems to be the only change. If he were here, he will tell us, but he's not. Orchard 2, Orchard Core. I need to change this folder name. Lots of new branches and updating branches. It's crazy. 7 days ago, so Jean-Thierry is still working on 2 or 3 different branches. Chris is still working in dynamic cache module, but this one is ready to be merged. I tested it yesterday and it works. Jasmin is working on 2 branches. One was merged, Noda time and user time zones. We'll see later. Chris Sipke is working on an issue with alias generation, which I think has been merged. This I don't know. This is work on netcore up to 1. So is he working in? So he's working also on tenant management from the main app. So I wonder if he's working on it on this branch or on a different branch. We'll see. Jasmin with date times. Same guys are working. This is just helping Sipke on his branch. Antoine fixing a comment. What branch is that? No branch, no tag. What branch is that? Tenants. Okay, there's a branch named tenants. Fix that generated alias will not be persisted. Okay, yeah, I remember. Okay. And increase the time, the delay for functional tests. We merge this one, add footer in admin and display version. So now we can see the orchard version in the footer on the admin. And I will just look at the branch on the left, which is the dev branch. Change to use assembly file information attribute to display version. Okay. Again. Why so many commits? Should be squashed. Various changes. Okay. Noda time we merge, so we merge Noda time and Jasmin will show it. Prevent data protection logins, errors on setup. It was missing the feature on the setup. And otherwise you will see a log. That's a minor issue, but it's fixed. On the left we have typo in localization startup. On the left we have new branches. Let's see new branches. Content types deployment step error. Okay. Form feature. Okay. Form workflows. So he's still working on that. Dynamic cache almost ready. Admin footer we saw it. Now this is a fix from Jasmin. User time zone that Jasmin is working on, different than the Noda time branch. So this is a fix from Jean-Thierry. This is shell context improvements from Jean-Thierry. Fixing password feature from Antoine. New datetime field from Antoine. Fixing a template from Jasmin. And Jean-Thierry fixing stuff. Azure Data Protection is a new module from Chris to support data protection with Azure Blob Storage. So like encryption keys in Azure Storage to share them across tenants if you are not using a shared folder like on Azure App Service or custom hosting. Good. Then demos. Who's first? Sipke demo. Would we add you to the list?
I don't have a demo, sorry.
What? But you worked on forms.
Yeah, it's done. I created a PR that you can merge if you like.
Okay, we'll see. Matthias, do you want to do a demo? test chat. No demo for Matthias. Okay. Matthias is currently working, I assume, on media management, improving media management. Antoine, you start.
Okay.
So I think everyone can see. I can see and I record, so that's good.
So I did a quick PR about that time field. Is my test. I edited the content definition of a milestone. There was already a text field to display a date.
Oh, for the agency recipe. Okay.
Yes. You can see this date is the text field. And I added a that time field. So there is just one editor for the moment.
Good.
You can specify if it's required or not. So when I edit my landing page, so it's in about. This is a collection of milestone, a back part. So you can edit the date time, and it is a that time dash local input type. So in Chrome it appears like this. Maybe I can try in
Can you guys, sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't saying anything. That's it. Just loading Edge. Ooh, beautiful. Ah, I like it to use the standard editor from the browser. I think it's a good thing. And then we can add other editors if we need. And is it localized using the time zone?
Good question.
Well,
So
if you didn't do it, it won't.
Yeah. I'm in French, so it's localized.
Sorry, not localized. Using the local time zone.
Oh.
So you store it as UTC, but you read it and edit it as. Oh, maybe you can't because you didn't. Oh, did you merge dev branch?
Not yet.
Okay, that's why you can't do
that. I did, but.
Yeah, you're not using Jasmin stuff, so you will have to. So you can't do that because it's not there yet. Well, now it's there, so you should use it. But Jasmin will show you.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So on the issue, on the pull request, we talked about what's needed also on top of datetime field. So this one is good. We need a datetime field which, well, it's not complete. So I took the occasion to refresh my mind and the others on the issue about datetime field from Orchard 1. The conclusion from Orchard 1 discussion about datetime field was that we need more than datetime field. Datetime field, thank you, Antoine. So as you can see here, the 3 bullet points. If you can go up, no, I don't know. Because I know Jasmin commented and then I replied, but so we need 3 fields. The datetime field, that is a point in time and is time zone dependent. So if I write a time like when is the next soccer game, depending on the time zone of the site, it will display different things. Okay, you edit with the current time zone that is defined for the site, for instance. It's stored as UTC, but when it's displayed, it's using again the time zone of the site, which means if you change the time zone of the site, it doesn't change the data in the database, but it changes how it's rendered. Okay, so like in Orchard 1, exactly as in Orchard 1. But we need also a date field and a time field that are not dependent from the time zone. They are just here to enter a specific date or a specific time. And if you want a date time, then use the two fields, and that's fine. If you just want a date, use a date field, and if you want a time, use a time field. And this way, whatever is entered is independent from the time field. For instance, we'll say, when is Christmas? Christmas is December 25, okay? And depending on the time zone, it won't be 26 or 24. No, it's December 25. That's just to represent a date. Not a point in time, but a date or a time. That's the idea from the feedback from Orchard 1. And with that, you should be able to do everything. And I will talk offline with Jasmin to understand more about cultures. But I think the three fields should provide everything we need. Cultures, sorry. Calendars. We'll see with Jasmin.
So I can replace the liquid tag, use the .time value.
Show me. Yeah. So value will be is a date time field. Sorry, date time property.
Yes.
How do you do that? Oh, because it's in C#, so the value is a date time property, and so in this case it's wrong because it will show you the UTC time. But what you will need is pipe local in liquid. That's what you need to do when you render.
Let's see.
And this way it will use a time zone. In this case, it will use the local time zone of your system, which will be French. But with the dev branch now that Jasmin merged in, it will use whatever you configured.
Obvious. Pipe local.
Yep. Local, not local. L-O-C-A-L. You can even use a live preview.
Yes. So it renders the time zone and the correct.
Yeah,
format.
yeah. So this is your time zone. Okay. And without local, it will just render +00 FM.
This is weird because it's the current that time, but it's not the time. Oh, no.
Ah, maybe there's an issue. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But also when you take the value, you need to convert it from what is entered to UTC and save it. And when you read it, you have to read it from the time zone that is defined in the system. So you need to look at what Jasmin has done. And it should work. Okay, thank you. So do you think you will? So we could merge this one if you want. Once you take into account the time zone, and create a new PR if you have time, or if you want to add date and time into this one, fine too. But if you don't, we can merge it and then for later have a date and a time.
Okay.
Which should be simpler because it's just a date, just a time, and there is no time zone conversion. In the end, it's the same thing. But you don't store a date time, you store 3 integers or, yeah, something like this. Okay, good. Thank you. Jasmin?
Yes. Can I start sharing?
Yes,
Or?
you can.
Thank you. Maybe for this one. Can you see it?
Not yet. You didn't hit the button. Try again.
Yeah, click, but maybe it's the wrong monitor or
Nothing is shared.
share.
So you can see, and everyone almost can see. Everyone can see. Good.
Okay. So I'm going to start from the beginning. So I cleaned up my tenants. I'm just going to recreate a website from the beginning so that we can see the setup. Oh, yeah, I need to. No. So here we added the default time zone, and it's going to take by default the current system default time zone. So it selected already my time zone. I'm going to create just a blog because we added examples there. So you can see that I created this at 15:26:56, and you can see my clock here is at 15:27, so it's accurate. I'm just going to log in the admin. And if I'm changing the time zone, maybe see a big difference, then it's showing 8:27. Should be accurate. Maybe if I go -6, 14, 15.
That works. Yeah,
That works.
Nick is mentioning that you have that 3 times too much dates. It's because there is an issue with the template that we played with and merged, but he fixed it in dev, so it's fixed already. He just didn't pull his change.
Yeah, I added this for the demo, so we can see
Okay,
faster.
you added it back.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Can you show?
We can see there on the blog post there the time that is now 14:28,
Okay.
and the day that it's been posted. So we see the conversion works for both.
Can you show the template?
Yeah.
It was open in Visual Studio. I saw it before. And you see here, model content item created UTC, pipe local. This is what will convert the UTC date that we store into the local time zone. And the change that Jasmin did with this PR and is showing you is first, yes, you can store the time zone in the settings of the site. Then you can also define the time zone you want from the setup, which is new compared to version 1. So decision, okay, let's put the time zone selection in the setup. And also there is a service that lets you get the current time zone for the site. Like for theming, we are using a high time zone provider. I don't think we had that in version 1. We just could get the time zone from the site. So the time zone selector is by default implemented by using the time zone from the site setup, but you can create custom time zone selectors, and this is also what Jasmin is working on, to add a user time zone and a user time zone selector. So if you enable the feature, users will be able to define what's their time zone and see the site once they are authenticated using their own time zone.
Yeah, we created the default time zone selector in the settings, and I added also a user time zone here that also has a time zone for the currently logged in user. So I created the same pattern here by creating a user time zone service and a time zone selector. And I implemented this here. For the users, we can also, if we enable the module first, yeah. I had since it's a feature now, we don't want to have this by default, so I enable the module. And I can change, by default it's going to take the site settings. It's not local to server, I should change this to site settings. And if I change this to, maybe change it back to -5. Then it's showing back the right time zone, 1631. So it works. So it overrides, yeah, it's a priority just like the teams. We did the same thing that was done with the team. So there's a priority on the time zone selector here. And there's a priority of 100 for the user time zone selector, so it overrides the site settings time zone selector simply.
Good. Perfect. We could even have a geoIP location time zone selector. So when a user comes to the site, even anonymous user, we could render the things based on the location of the user from the server side.
Browser.
Yeah. Well, usually, using the browser also very nice. Usually it's done on the client side, but it could be a feature that does it on the server side. That will impact caching, but if people want that, that might be interesting. Yeah, good. Thank you. And you didn't show the iLocal clock. This is a new service also. There is iClock, which has more services than before. And there is iLocal clock that will provide helpers to manage the current time zone. Get the local date with the local time zone and also convert things to the local time zone.
Yeah, it's the same thing here. It's using the DI and it's looking at
Can you show the interface instead, because we can't see.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the iLocal clock there is a local now async which returns a datetime offset because it's daytime plus the time zone. Get local time zone async, which will return you the local time zone, and convert to local async. Okay. And there is another extension method that takes a datetime and.
Can we remove the async names?
We can't remove the async. Oh, you want to remove the async in the names?
Yeah, if you look at your interface, everything's async, so you don't need to have async in your names anymore.
Why do you say that?
So I read online. I read that when your interface is just async methods, then there's no point having async in the name, just because it's already implicit.
Is it a recommendation from Microsoft or from some dude in UK?
In fact, I think you're the one that told me.
I don't know.
I think you're the one that told me.
So yeah, I don't remember. Obviously I don't remember. But
no, that's cool.
No, if it's a recommendation and this is what we do, yeah, we do that.
Yeah.
And in the iClock, there is nothing async on the opposite because there is nothing requiring custom services and data access and whatever. So here you have the same.
iClock is similar to. Is iClock similar to iSystem clock?
It does more things. So again, just show the interface. iClock UTC now and not local UTC now. Get time zones to list the time zone. Get a specific time zone and get system time zone and convert to time zone.
And we don't want UTC now as datetime offset.
No,
Nope.
doesn't is not required. And
Okay.
We could, but it's not required. I mean, we used this since the beginning, and now it's returning. Yeah.
could be consistent now.
It used to be.
Yeah.
We can store using
and then we switched it for
yeah, it could be datetime offset in this case to be consistent because we just manipulate datetime offset. That will be fine. I still just want datetime in the structures, what we store, because we can only store datetime and we should always store UTC. So we should not use datetime offset. But here we could use datetime offset. That would make more sense.
Yeah, but at the same time here, if we pass a date time to convert it to time zone, we cast it as a date time UTC.
Yeah, okay,
UTC.
but
So there's no problem about doing this.
no, it's not about problem. It's about be consistent. Yes, we should handle the two in the APIs, like when we want to convert with extension methods. But in this case here, UTC now, we could return datetime offset now that we are just using. So the recommendation is actually for public interfaces to use datetime offset.
Yeah.
But for storage, use datetime. So internal implementation should use datetime, but external interface should use datetime offset. So,
yeah, this will be a product-facing interface because it's on the abstractions.
So yeah. But if you want to change it. I'm fine with this one.
I'll change it.
And Antoine, you are only using datetime for storage, okay? And it's only stored as UTC.
Yep. Yeah. Always. But
I'm talking to Antoine, so. Okay, good.
I like it. It's nice.
Thank you. And so I just wanted to show what Chris has done because he's not here. I will share. What do I share? Here. This is the next one that will be merged and that is significant. Pull request. Here. So it was just recurrent test and I tested it and it works. So that's fine. File changes and example. Here. So we have a new tag, cache tag. You give it an ID. Okay, unique identifier. You say by what you want it to vary by. So in this case, it's just a value, so we can pass an ID. But there are all other existing contexts. Like you can say, let me show you. You can say it vary by the features or a specific feature, if it's enabled or not. Vary by a query or a specific query names, a user, its roles, a specific route. So by just saying this value in the context property, it will automatically create as many entries in the cache as the features list are available, or the query has changed or not. Sorry, query string has changed or not. Current user has changed or not, and so on. Okay. So you can cache with that. There was other parameter. You see the add context with sliding expiration, duration of the cache. You can also add dependencies on invalidation, like custom dependencies. For instance, a special content item or a tag. And this is extensible also. So, for instance, when a content item has changed, the entry will be removed from the store. So all of these to support, and you see these are the properties you put in the tag helper: cache dependency, cache tag, fixed duration, sliding duration. Everything is documented. The liquid cache and the razor cache tag helper, the different things. It's also support nesting. Are there any questions I'm missing? also support nesting and nested invalidation. So for instance, you have a cache entry that renders something, which itself is using a cache entry to render something. When this one is invalidated by whatever means that are defined in the entry, then it will also make the parent entries to be re-rendered, because probably this thing requires a property that has been defined in its parent. Okay, but when it's re-rendering this thing, the parent, and this item, the other ones, however, will be taken from the cache still, because their context hasn't changed. So yeah, and this entry will be invalidated if it will inherit all the properties from all its children cache entries. So that works, and then I tested it, and then it works as expected. But what he didn't expect is that it will work in such a limited way. The issue being that first thing I try to do is to add a cache entry in the article content template. Propagate to children. No, you don't want to do that. I will explain why. Otherwise, there is no. It's useless. I will show you. So what I tried is to add a cache tag around the content-article, just to cache all my articles. But the content-article, let me show you the file. Not in this context. Content-article.liquid. Okay, from, for instance, the blog theme. So this is the content-article. It defines the header with a custom header image when we display an article, and then contents metadata shape for the date time and everything, and then says render the body part. Okay, so I wrapped like this section with a cache tag, hoping it will improve the perf, but it doesn't at all, because at this point the content item is already loaded with the database access, because this is the controller that does that, and the content item is already deserialized. So the only thing we are improving here is just picking the value from this set of fields and rendering, but we'll still have to render. So we are just gaining the shape render, and that's almost nothing. So in this case, it doesn't help at all. So there is no way to use this cache helper to prevent content items from being loaded. The only thing that it will help, but it's also already a huge deal, if we have shapes that will lazily load their content items. For instance, the menu shape, which is the case. When you inject a menu shape, it will load the menu item when you render the shape. So this one is interesting, and this is what we use, and now it's using the new logic. And this one is defined in the layout when we do menu here. So when we render the shape menu, the shape tag also has cache properties, which will use the same system. Okay, and so this was working before, but now it's using the new cache module. So this guy here will load the content item for the main menu when it's rendered. So in this case, we can cache things. So caching this snippet or fragment is nice. Another way it will help is when we have custom templates that will execute queries, existing queries or dynamic queries. Same thing, we can cache it and it will help a lot. Like if you want to create a custom liquid page that will render the list of blog posts, the recent blog post. The liquid page itself is a content item and will be loaded from database, but rendering the list of blog posts can be cached in this case. So that will help also. Something else we could do would be to make content items be rendered lazily, but this will mean that lots of features we have in the controller will not work, so I don't think we should do that, like permissions and returning 404s. So this won't help. But there are many ways it will help, so we'll see how we can use it. A question from Soteris: should be the other way around, invalidation of parent to propagate to children? Nope. What we decided is that if, so let me go back to the example. Okay, where is the big example with the IDs here? So if this thing is invalidated, it will render all its stuff, but the cached sections will still be cached because they haven't changed. There, because we say, and it's the same way as in Orchard 1 right now with the memory cache. So if this thing is cached for some specific things and are not related to this thing, then it should still be cached. Or in the same way, you could say, if they are not related, in one page invalidated could invalidate another page. No, they are not related. All the dependencies from this fragment are there. And this one defines its own fragments, dependencies. So this is this way. Also, how is it invalidated? We don't really invalidate it. Each section has a unique ID based on the ID we define and all the dependencies and variations and everything. When we look for the value, we compute all the values from the dependencies and the variables, like the context and the variables, and then the ID, if the ID has changed, for instance, if the user is different, the ID will be different because the username is different. So there will be a new entry created. So you don't really remove the previous one. We just use the expiration to remove the entry. We only evict an item if it's tagged with something that has changed and needs to be removed. Like the content item ID is a custom tag. But yeah, if you have an opinion about that, Soteris, just comment on the issue and with an examples, and we'll take that into account. But yeah, it should work for most cases. Good. So that will be merged soon. This feature is independent from the output cache module that will mimic what Orchard 1 is doing. So, and there will be independent caches. So you could cache completely the output cache, the page, and when we re-render the page, we might still have fragments that will be cached. Okay. And this will be able to help with content items loading because it's a full cache. And that's it. Questions?
I can make another demo about email confirmation.
Okay.
Sebastian, could you take a look at my pull request? Just write some comments or whatever on. I know there's one broken test and I need to fix that.
Oh, this is broken test. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was red, so I didn't even look at it.
Yeah, there's just one broken test that I just need to fix. Well, there was two. One was around Lucene that I've just said that for that test I'm going to ignore it for now because we're going to rewrite Lucene. Mm-hmm. And the other one, that's a genuine failure that I need to fix. But if you could just review it, that would be cool.
I will check. I will test it.
Thank you.
So I made other changes in my PR about password reset, and I splitted the registration to a separate feature. And now, when it is enabled, you can allow users to register on the site, and then you can also check this option to specify user must verify their email address before they can log in. So if I check, oh, it's not set.
Doesn't work.
I don't know why it's not stored.
It's called a bug.
Yes. So I will look at it. Then the ID is that someone can register. An email will be sent with a link to confirm.
I was about to say it's a new theme.
So it's not a new
It's
theme.
customized.
The theme updated to Bootstrap 4.
But we already updated the themes to Bootstrap 4.
So it shouldn't be allowed to log in, but it is because it's not stored. He should at first confirm his email and then be able to log in. And if I log as an admin, and if I edit the users, an admin can check if the email is confirmed for a specific user.
What do you mean can check?
Can check and
You can
also,
override.
yes. I could disable, but so I just have to fix the settings.
Okay, I will check. Thank you. Yeah, read only, but no, I think the intent was that you can change it. And this is weird. I will think about it. That someone can change that the email has been validated. Maybe it's another option. We should show that it hasn't been validated, but we are overriding the property and forcing the validation. But we should still know that it hasn't been validated. Like it's validated or approved by the admin, but not, you don't change the fact that it has been validated. That's weird. That gives a meaning that is wrong. So
Yes.
we'll see.
And I'm using what's already in identity field, a property called email confirmed.
Sure, but you should not be able to edit this value with a checkbox. You should show the value on the front end as read-only, like the email has been validated or validated with a checkbox, okay, but read-only. And there should be another checkbox with another field. What that should be, maybe like it might be just a user profile thing that is override user email validation checked. So we know that the user hasn't validated his email, but it has been overridden by another field, and then you say, okay, I allow you to connect because someone bailed for you. So, but we should not change the value from that the user did it or not did it. That's weird.
In the default MVC template, you can check the checkbox.
I know the guys from the MVC team, most of them are stupid. I'm part of it, but that's weird. I want to see it. Where is that?
I think I saw it somewhere, but I don't remember.
You see,
where.
they don't even have user management, so how will you do that? They don't have user management pages. You the user, can manage your profile, that's it. They don't have an admin way of managing all users, so this checkbox can't exist in their template. But good job that you took the templates to follow the flow and everything. That's good. But this checkbox, that's weird. Okay, good. I think we are done, unless there is another question.
No, and I will make another PR about changing the theme to Bootstrap 4.
I thought we were on Bootstrap 4 already. Didn't we upgrade the...
No, we are not.
Like I did one and Jasmin did the other, right, Jasmin? I did the agency and you did the blog.
Yep.
We took the latest.
Maybe there's an update. I don't know. But we're on Bootstrap 4, but maybe there's a minor version.
Okay.
I had to change the menus, menu items, and I added some CSS and...
Well, you added stuff, but they were not in the original template then. Because we took the templates from the website and we rewrote the recipes and everything to support the new templates.
Maybe he's on the older ones.
Let me share again. I will show you.
What's the name of the site? I don't remember. Start Bootstrap. This is a clean blog, and this is on Bootstrap 3. That's weird because there is a 4th version.
Yes.
And then where is the agency? This one. Based on Bootstrap. So there were Bootstrap 4 versions. Where did they go? I even filed an issue on their repository.
Don't know.
Fork star. Why is there a link?
I can show you something else.
You see Bootstrap 4.1.1. Maybe they updated it, okay, with the new version, but
I see here on the clean blog archer.css it says Bootstrap 4.0.0.
yeah, but that's it. So it's still okay. Maybe there is an update to do, but yeah, let's see. You see features, full responsive HTML template created with Bootstrap 4. I'm sure we took it at that point, and I even created an issue because there was an issue that I didn't like. We talked about it. You see here, we did it March 5th. Okay. We'll see. I'll take it offline. Good.
For example, I also added a sidebar zone.
Is it in the template?
Is it what?
Is it in the original template? Nope. So don't do that.
It's not a template. It's
because why a sidebar? Why not two sidebars and a footer and the header and the before content and after content and everything? We should keep with the template. This is a template. If you want something else, create another template. Don't mess up with the original template. So when we want to take updates, we just have to update the template. This is very specific. So this is very specific to show this thing, this behavior of a landing page. We can support new pages, but it should follow this thing. Because if you had a sidebar, everything here doesn't make sense anymore. If one of their templates supports a sidebar, then there is a sidebar, but this one doesn't support a sidebar. This one doesn't support drop-down menus. And we don't want to have to handle drop-down menus because this is our code and we have to maintain it and everything. We should take a template as it exists, and if there are issues with the templates, these are issues with templates and not in Orchard. We can add more templates that do more things from very interesting templates that have drop-down menus, that have sidebars and everything, but I don't think we should focus on adding stuff to existing templates.
I also made where's the menu? A page and a subpage. It supports a menu and some menu.
You see? And you change the menu tagging, and yeah, that's a lot of that might be interesting for some people, but if we do that, we have to support that, and there are decisions. So why, if I don't like submenus, for instance, and someone likes, so we decided to use the agency, we should stick with the agency theme. If we want another theme that has that, we should take the other theme from the source and do that. We can't invest too much in designing our own custom templates. Look at the admin.
So one of my goals was to migrate to Bootstrap 4, so I did it. And the other one is to use it, for example, for my home use, without to make a custom theme on my own. So that's why I added a sidebar. And what I wanted to add also is something I can use to add metas or script or CSS in the head. So I added a zone called head meta. And added it in the layout in the head. So, for example, I could easily add CSS to Bootswatch, a Bootswatch theme that I like.
Okay, this one is fine. Yeah, having a zone for meta tags, okay, to inject stuff. If it's not in the main template, then that's fine. In the main, I mean the administrable template, and I don't think it is, so that's fine. Just looking at the root of the agency in the. So if I look at the SCSS, for instance, and I take, no, not this one. I want to see Bootstrap. Where is Bootstrap?
And I also fixed a bit the agency and the blog theme. If I switch back to the agency, I will show you, make it default.
Yeah, the agency is already Bootstrap for sure. It's written in the file.
Okay. I will also make another PR for an issue I created about setting an active CSS class on the current menu the current menu item corresponding to the URL.
Okay. Good. Yeah. So you don't agree that the current theme is Bootstrap 4?
No, it's Bootstrap 3.
Okay, so take this file, open it, well, I can share, and look at what we're using. And it was changed on March 5, the same day I created the issue on the latest thing when they migrated to Bootstrap 4. Maybe it's missing something, and maybe they improved it. So 4.1.1 has some more changes, and we need to update it. Okay, good. It's time, overtime. Thanks everyone. See you on Thursday or next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.